Well, more trouble for Lavasa, and this came after the Maharashtra government has just said that they have cleared criminal action against the Lavasa owners. This came, of course, after the whole court proceedings. Let's just take a background and look at what's actually happened to Lavasa. Why is it becoming paradise lost?
The fate of Lavasa, India's most ambitious township project, hangs in the balance, with the Maharashtra government clearing criminal action against its promoter, Hindustan Construction Company, for violating green laws.
जो भी कोर्ट के निर्देश है उसके हिसाब से कार्रवाई करना अपेक्षित जो है वो पर्यावरण विभाग के माध्यम से की जाएगी.
The government pushed into action by the Environment Ministry, which is under fire from the Bombay High Court for delaying clearance to the first phase of the project. Clearance that hinges on the state government taking action against Lavasa for violating environmental laws. Work in the project has been stalled since November 2010 after the Environment Ministry issued a show-cause notice citing green violations. The ministry wanted Lavasa to fulfill 5 preconditions, namely set up an environmental restoration fund, set aside 5% of profits towards corporate social responsibility, demarcate no development areas, commitment not to further violate green norms, and the Maharashtra government taking action against Lavasa for violating environmental laws. An NDTV Bureau report.
Well, joining me now is Mr. AJIT GULABCHAND, who of course is the head of that Lavasa project. Mr. GULABCHAND, the latest blow is of course the Maharashtra government threatening criminal action. What is your reaction to that, sir?
Well, I think let's put this a bit into perspective and go back a little bit. It is Maharashtra government that created a hill station policy under the chief ministership of Manoj Joshi of Shiv Sena BJP coalition. After that, we invited people from the private sector to build these hill stations or hill cities. Several people came forth, we were one of them. Having come forth, then at that time, it was all like all other clearances, all the environmental clearance was given by the Maharashtra government to the project. It had done environment impact assessment, it had created the appraisal committee and cleared the project, had given us the clearance. After that, this project has been underway under complete openness. We have been completely in the newspapers. We have been able to have a large number of contracts signed with foreign education institutions, etc. So it's been in complete public gaze, under the gaze of the MOEF, that is the central ministry, that this was happening.
Right.
In fact, they even have cleared a tunnel and a transmission line, etc., from by the MOEF, so they knew the project. They also were processing the second phase of 3,000 hectares of the project, and their committee had visited Lavasa. Then suddenly in the November of 25, they come forth and stop this project. On some complaints by Meda Patkar. But nevertheless, having done that, we felt that they had no jurisdiction to do so, because that is what our legal advice was. That's why we didn't go to them. For the second phase, we knew they had jurisdiction, so we went to them. Now, based on that, our court admitted our writ petition. Having admitted our writ petition, because they found some merit to our argument. After this, all this was kept in abeyance, and the Environment Ministry agreed to process the environment clearance at the central level.
Yes.
This was done with the consent of the Environment Ministry, and therefore as an amicable settlement it was proceeded with. But having done that, on 31st May the expert appraisal committee of the Ministry of Environment and Forest recommended the project for environmental clearance. And the ministry accepted the recommendation of the Environment Ministry, of the appraisal committee.
So
however, some of its conditions it made into preconditions. One of these conditions was this. Now we have 2 appraisals done of this project of environment, cleared by 2 committees, accepted by this Maharashtra government as well as accepted by the MOEF. So for just one condition, which is not in our hands, and this is a condition they put in every post facto sanctioned project that they have cleared.
So you're saying
it is not just only in Lavasa's case.
So you're saying,
so having done that,
yes,
Yeah, having done that, what is more relevant is not what Maharashtra government is, in this case, acting only as an agent. But it sounds very odd that Maharashtra government has cleared the project, and how could they be acting? They are acting as agents of the MOEF. Having said this,
yes,
the more pertinent question is, why was Lavasa being discriminated against by the only company where you made this into preconditions?
Right, but
which is not as per MOEF's own process of working.
No, so when you have talked to
this is the basic issue. Why?
Yes, but of course this is now in court, so this will go back and forth on that. But what you have said that you want the Prime Minister to intervene. You feel that this treatment and this whole policy change back and forth and the government, state and centre passing the buck in a way. On what grounds should the Prime Minister intervene? We've heard, you mentioned Medha Patkar, an environmentalist, saying that Lavasa actually got a cushy deal. They're saying that you took advantage of your closeness to certain politicians to get this through. How would you react to that?
I am sorry. This is an unfounded accusation. I want to tell you, Medha Patkar at one time told the Sunday Times a story about Lavasa which they printed. We went to court against them in London. We won, and the Sunday Times apologized to us that they were wrong and they paid us damages. In addition to that, recently the Supreme Court of India has actually cautioned everybody that you please do not, the NGO led by Medha Patkar and herself have misrepresented, and therefore their words must be taken with caution and only if they file affidavits. So with such a person's credibility, I don't wish to comment.
Yes.
What is more important is that why is Lavasa not getting clearance? For 10 months you have stopped a project which the state wanted done, and we have built it to the world-class standards. Both environmental committees have ensured that this project is fit environmentally okay. Having done that, why are we destroying so much value? Almost 4,000 crores, $1 billion has been invested in the project. Several people have bought homes. International big brands have come there for setting up schools, colleges, have come there for their hotels and various other like NASA,
Mr. Gulabchand, and also, sir, there are always two views on this. One view is, of course, your view, and the other whole corporate view. That what's currently going on is part of a kind of governance crisis. That there's an issue, as I said, governments passing the buck here. And there's another view that corporates have had an easy very time with access to politicians, that environmentalists are fighting and getting their voice heard in the right cause. What do you think the larger message is going? What do you think the larger message is just going out? Which on both views?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I am sorry. I'm sorry. There's a very clear-cut clearance given by two ministries, and to make such accusation is rubbish. As far as I'm concerned, I'm surprised that there is two ministries. They're different from each other at different times of the whole time. You've given us clearance, and having got the clearance now for a minor issue, to withhold this, to destroy therefore a financial capability of a large project, to destroy 15,000 construction workers' jobs. All the villagers who had benefited and were set up shops there had to be shut down. So all the schools that are meant for the local children out there will have to be closed down shortly if this continues. Now, why such a harsh penalty for what? Why should this project be closed down? It's a simple housing project. In terms of doing so, look at the amount of damage that has been done to our reputation,
yes,
as well as financially.
And of course, this case,
we were in the middle of an IPO.
Right, and of course,
IPO has been shot down.
Yes.
We lost market value. Lots of investors have lost money.
Right.
How do you expect
these are points that will, of course,
get investment when this happens?
These are points that will, of course, be heard now. A final decision with the court, sir. And thank you so much for joining me tonight with your views.
The final decision is not with the court. It is with the MOEF. Once this action has been initiated by the Maharashtra government, which is the reason why they could not give an order, they have to simply give us a clearance. So all we are asking both the Prime Minister is to ensure that they give us quickly the clearance and end the misery of so many people.
Right. AJIT GULABCHAND, thank you very much, sir.
After all, we need 500 cities. This is a wonderful city which has won awards abroad for its ecological contribution and environmental standards. I don't see why we are being treated like this. This arbitrariness of the MOEF has to end, and you in the media must take this up.
Mr. Gulabchand, as I said, thank you very much for joining me and sharing your views on this. And let's see now what reaction actually comes from the Prime Minister and the MOEF. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, sir. That's it on India Decides at 9. But coming up next, our interview with Omar Abdullah on the buck stops here. Goodbye.